Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Psychopaths Season 1 episode number 2 reaction. Alright, the previous episode, it was the beginning episode of this show and it was very interesting. Like quite a few things happen. First of all, we get introduced to the world. It's a futuristic world where everything is like monitored and like a thing called Psychopaths and kind of like monitors people's coefficient. I think that's what they call like emotional coefficient or something like that, which will tell people or the authorities whether that person is is going to be committing a crime or something, or how much likely they're going to commit a crime, something like that. There's a few things that I'm not really clear about, but I'm sure like watching multiple episodes will give me a better idea. So we get introduced to the few characters, like those guys. I think they called them. I forgot what they called them, but former but criminals who are like acting with the law to hunt down other criminals. Don't know why they're doing it. Maybe they have some kind of like they're going to get something out of that, by helping the police officers. But they're apparently like aiding the police. And we meet like two of those criminals. Forgot those guys' name, but one is the main dude, I think. And then we meet the girl. I think her name is Akane or something, who is like a rookie police officer. And they go to like in like a little mission, and in the end what happens is we get to know that while trying to stop a criminal, that criminal affected the victim, and the victim's psychopaths went like out of control as well. So they were supposed to tranquilize the victim as well in the end, or kill her in the end. um but obviously Akane didn't want that, and she tried to stop them from doing it. And like all that stuff. So it's a very interesting thing. Basically, this world seems very what can I say, dystopian in a word. I'm not really sure. It seems like the whole situation is very weird. Like like how a victim can become like a criminal in a matter of seconds just because of the whole psychopaths and all that. Like all that stuff. So yeah, let's see what happens in today's episode. So this is episode number 2. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, oh yeah, he got shot, didn't he? Yeah, yeah. Not shot, but tranquilized. Yeah. Powder blue. Damn. Yeah, she's not slept well. Wow. So every morning this alarm thing tells them how their psychopath is. Like, oh, today you're. I can just imagine. You wake up one morning and they're like, oh, today your psychopath is red. You're screwed. And bam, the police is outside your door, ready to arrest you. Good God. Bruh. Uh, hmm. Oh, I think this is the first time we're seeing the visuals. In the previous episode, the visuals weren't there. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Wow. What? Wait, so oh, this is crazy. Yeah, makes sense. It's the future. Bro, just imagine something like that. Good God. Wait, so the. Okay. Oh, I was going to say, so basically, it's just a flavor. Yo, they. It seems pretty interesting, but I feel like it's just like so artificial. Group stress. Okay, yeah, this is very dystopian. It seems very happy and everything like, oh, future with, but it seems so dystopian. Like everything's like regulated and controlled. Wow, crazy. Right. Yep, there you go. Nothing, literally nothing. The whole room is bland. Every single person's room is probably like this bland. But then, okay. Yeah, but still, I guess, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Mental beauty. Wow. Oh, so she's the one who chose this. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Wow, this is just the whole system is just so interesting. Like half of these things that we're seeing is probably artificially generated. Like we saw like the rooms are literally there's nothing in it. And they're like literally putting on themes and skins in the room. Convenient. Right. It's kind of like a video game, you know. You pull out your inventory and click on a dress, and it automatically equips it. Who the hell? This is a robot. This is an android. Oh no, never mind. Wait, what? Oh my. Wait, is this um um Miyuki Sashiro? Yeah, Miyuki Sashiro. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, I see. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I was wondering, like, yeah, it's just lethal, almost a lethal hit. And it's like a tranquilizer, so yeah. Hmm. Oh, okay. I thought it'll probably take a longer time. Hmm. I guess she thinks that he was just doing his job, but then Akane kind of shot him. So, like, that was his job technically. Okay, I need to read that again. What the hell? Yo, they're just doing their own thing. Masaoka. Yeah, she's not here. Wow, rubbing it in. Okay. Oh, he's here. What's his name? I forgot his name. Masaoka or something? Oh god. Elevated area stress. Okay. Enforcers. Yeah, that's what they're called. Wow. Yep. Well, yeah, you're here, so. And she's like their boss, I guess, technically. Oh, there he is. Hmm. Okay. Oh, wow. A little disguise. Holo suit. Okay, that's a holographic suit. Wow. Right. Oh, dumb. Just waiting. Yeah. Wait, what's that behind? Oh no. Oh, isn't this like going to increase his stress and make his index shoot out? Ah, time for therapy. Let's go. Yeah, and he was like literally like like hiding behind a pillar. Ah. Wow. That's kind of, yeah. But there wasn't enough to do, like, like just go there and apprehend. Yeah, this system is pretty messed up. I can exactly like it's just like, oh, like let the others work for you, the criminals who are just like, I don't know, it's a bit weird. Like, literally just slacking off, like you're slacking off yourself and letting the others, yeah. Wow. Hmm. Yeah, he could have, she could have done, yeah, anything. She could have chosen any other thing if she wanted. Oh. Wow. Right. That is insane. Ah. Oh, that's why she chose that. Yeah. Hmm. No, I can understand that. Hmm. Wow, I see. Yeah, this is a whole dystopian setting. So you're basically like the civil system judges you. Wow, that is insane. Oh my god, this is so bad. So she probably, a lot of people probably just didn't have any choice. So he's pissed off at the fact that she had so many, yeah, so much choices, and she had the, I guess you could say, liberty to choose, unlike so many other people who basically get tagged as soon as they're born. You think? I don't think he's angry. He's just, yeah, given up on everything, I guess. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I guess in this world where everything's literally um, dictated by, yeah, everything's like dictated by the system, she took her own decision. Hmm. Yeah, like as he's saying, like I like he's done this for so long that he just got desensitized to it. Hmm. Yep, he's back. Hmm. Exactly, it's still temporarily elevated. Hmm. Okay. Wow, this episode actually gave us an insight to the, like, I guess you could say, give us a better understanding of how the world is. Like, the first episode confused me, like a lot of things confused me, but this kind of expands our horizon a little bit. And oh my god, it is worse than I thought. This whole world, the system, the whole civil system is just so messed up in a weird, like, way, an uncomfortable way. Hmm. And that is it. Okay, there you go. So yeah, like I said, this episode was very interesting because the way it starts is like they show the daily like happenings, like, or the normal like world outside the whole police bureau, and how the world is going, how technology has like literally consumed everything basically. And like I like it's just crazy to think about. Like I feel like more and more as technology advances, it kind of makes, like, since it simplifies things, it makes like stuff more and more, I guess you could say, monotonous. Just for example, as you can see in today's episode, um, the whole room was bland, complete. There's literally nothing, just because they can just press a button and change the whole background to whatever you want. Now it's very interesting because I feel like these type of things will actually happen in the real world in the future. Like pressing a button to change our clothes, pressing a button to change the whole like wallpaper and whatever, the background of your whole room and stuff. This is probably going to happen. Not now, maybe like 100 years later or something. But I'm sure like this will become normal as time goes on and on with more technological developments. And you just see this whole situation, how as more technology develops, it simplifies things, making stuff way more blander and less, I guess you could say, less diverse. Like for example, people don't even need to properly like decorate their rooms. Just empty rooms, nothing except, I guess, like a few things that you need, like probably the electrical appliances or stuff like that. Bland room, no wallpaper, no flooring, no decorations, nothing. I just press a button. So doesn't it make it less diverse? Like every single person's room is literally bland. It's the same thing. You just press a button and change it. Dresses, you don't even need to dress. You can just press a button to change everything. You know. So in that way, like I feel like things become more and more streamlined as technology advances. And a few other things that we get to know in today's episode is like the whole the another very fearful thing about technology as it grows more and more is this whole controlling nature of it. Like for example, as you can see, that guy, the guy who got angry with Akane, the enforcer, who at first was very like friendly, and then when he like heard from Akane that Akane got so many choices, he was like, "What the hell? Like what we go through." From his words, like it dawned on me. I didn't really like clock it in the very first episode, but it dawned on me that so there's people like him who were probably like like they saw like their coefficient, like the psychopath index or whatever, and deemed him not suitable for society, and like labeled him completely from a very young age. And they probably told him that, oh, go to the isolation ward or you become one of the enforcers. So he had no choice just because of his psychopath index, the way he was born, maybe. That's what happened. And so it is so unfair. And like I said, this is what I'm saying by trying to like this is what I'm meaning by trying to say like the whole controlling nature of technology. Like it has such a controlling nature, like basically like it like as you can see, the whole like looking at like like kind of figuring out the psychopaths of every single person and capturing them will be even before they're able to commit any crime. Now, yeah, obviously this is going to make things a lot safe, definitely in certain situations where the person is really going to commit a crime. However, there are certain situations where it is definitely going to false flag people and arrest someone who probably wouldn't have done it. There's a lot of people who have certain times when they're very stressed out and they like dark thoughts come into their head, but there's a lot of people who doesn't act on it. Not a lot, but most people do not act on it. And because of this whole civil system, it's literally going to just tag you with like, oh, you're dangerous, go to therapy. And if the person doesn't want to go to, oh, bam, you're tranquilized and taken to an isolation ward or whatever the hell. So this whole thing, yeah, it makes a lot of things safe, definitely, but at the same time, it also makes, I don't know, like it's very weird and very bad, like this whole thing. So this is another thing that is very scary about technology, is that the whole controlling nature. More and more time goes, the more and more technology grows, it's going to become more and more controlling, and like it's literally going to like dictate everything. Even though we humans are the ones who made the technology, I feel like a time comes when we start relying on it so much that it starts dictating us. Like that's what happens, and that's literally what is happening here. As you can see, all these things that have been made, definitely human beings made them, but the situation is so weird now, and it's probably gone so far that the humans who made this technology, they are so dependent on this whole technology that the technology is kind of like overpowering them, like it's literally controlling them in a way. And that is what's going on here, like this whole thing. So right, this just it's like like everything seems so peaceful and happy, but underneath there's this weird thing going on which is making, I don't know, like at least making me uncomfortable. I don't know about everyone else who is watching this show, but it's at least making me uncomfortable with the stuff that we are seeing, and like, and the implications as to what's going on. Like, just imagine, like I feel bad for people like that dude who literally got like their whole future taken away just because the civil system deemed them dangerous or something like that from a very young age. Like, what the hell, you know? And as you can see, and I feel like this is going to make stuff even worse because it's going to stress out the people even more. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's just so unusual. Like, I feel like this is the thing, like every single, be it anime or game that I've seen where it, like with the stories about like a dystopian future because of technology, it's always like this, where like things are like controlled by the technology, and everything is like so controlled that everyone literally just are like robots. Even though humans are the ones who made the technology is literally making them handicapped, and just making them just completely duller and like worse. um Something like that, I guess. you know it's just crazy, like. Yeah, so right, like this, and this episode kind of made me realize that even more, that yeah, that this place, this society, this world is a bit messed up, especially because of stuff. And you can see that Akane is probably one of the people who, like, as you can see, that, like I said, everything, people are getting like so used to following this whole civil system that not even thinking. So for example, as what was his name, she um I forgot his name. The guy, the main character. I think that he's the main character. Um, Shinya, yeah, Shinya, that's his name. Shinya said that I, like, like, even though we are supposed to be detectives who help people out and look for, like, and we think about their well-being, following this whole like system and doing this for so long dulled down our whole, like, like our intentions. And I started becoming a person who literally just followed the system. That is why in that situation, as soon as the civil system was like, oh, she is dangerous, capture her, he immediately pointed the gun. But Akane, being this rookie, since she's not used to any of this, she was the one who like went against that, and who was like, no, stop, like, this is wrong. So, and that is why she shot him. That is why even though he got shot, he's thankful to her, because she was able to, I guess you could say, open his eyes and make him realize again what he's supposed to do. And he's supposed to help the people, like help, like work for the people, not against them, and just follow the rules blindly, you know. So yeah, and Akane took that decision in this world where everything is like literally dictated by the system. Akane is the one who took that decision, and it's like a anomaly, a very exceptional thing, which people barely even think nowadays because they're just so used to leaving everything to the system. So yeah, and that is why like Akane is like a what can I say, like a, I guess you could say like a um exception. No, yeah, exception, like especially because she's new here, she's like an exception to the whole like surroundings, how everyone just follow the system while Akane is actually thinking for herself, something like that. And it's interesting, like it's crazy to think that, like I'm just thinking that this is probably going to happen somewhere down the line. I'm talking about actual reality, you know this show that we're seeing. I feel like there's a huge possibility of this happening in our world somewhere down the line. Not now, like I said, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but probably like maybe like 100 years later or something. Like as we are seeing how technology is kind of starting to like just like more and more stuff are coming with AI and stuff. um yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this show that we're watching becomes reality in the future. There's a high possibility of that happening, you know, and it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. So, damn, it's crazy, you know. And I can just imagine, in a world like this, just think about it. I feel like um, things like which requires like artistic talent is probably worthless in this world. Like where in a world where people literally press a button and change their home decorations and home background, I don't think things that require artistic expertise is probably just doesn't exist. I doubt and there's any painters in this world or people who create art. Is there? I don't know. Even if there is, it's probably very rare. Like for people who are just moving according to the um, like the system and just following everything that it dictates and just doing what they're told, people like them can never create something because they're just so used to following like things. What are artists are people who using their imagination creates something new, who thinks for themselves. That is important for any type of artist, be it singer, be it like painters, sculptors, whatever, anything that requires like talent like that and like actual imagination. And more and more, the more and more technology gets advanced, I feel like those things starts dwindling because people just start following the system and they stop thinking for themselves. So this is a type of a world where I can see like no such people probably exists or anymore because people are just so used to following orders. They never think for themselves or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but that's the vibe it gave me. I feel like I'll need a few more episodes to understand how like far how far gone this whole thing is. This whole technological this whole thing advancement. How far gone is it? You know. So yeah, let's wait and see. Like that it really I feel like it is quite far gone because of the whole thing that guy said, where he said that I was my psychopath was checked when I was a young kid, and from that point onwards I was literally like I had to either become an enforcer or go to the isolation ward. So that in itself makes me think that it is pretty far gone, because anyone who has a brain and who thinks for themselves would realize that, are we doing something wrong? Like he's a literal kid. So yeah, you know what, let me go to that part, let me read that part, because he kind of like snaps at that moment and he kind of says a few things here. Where is that? Okay, there we go. So he says that, okay, do you think I'm wrong? And he says that I don't know. What makes you think that someone like me would have an idea? you could become anything. You could choose any kind of life. You've even agonized over it, right? That is incredible. You're just like those people from, here we go. You're just like those people from the days before Civil was created. Crazy. So basically, he's saying that free will, and like a free will to take a decision of what you want to become in your life, whether you want to become a doctor or whether you just want to be like an office worker, that in itself has been completely obsolete nowadays. So he's saying back in the days before Civil was created, that was a thing. So he's like, oh, you're like one of those people. You had so many choices in front of you. Right. Nowadays, the civil system reads your talent, tells you the way of living that will bring you the most happiness. Right. Oh my god. That is insane. And yet you're already. Okay, the reason you were born. Okay. I never even imagined there were people who stressed over things like that. I was flagged in a psychopath test when I was 5. Here we go. There you go. Yeah. And I've been a latent criminal ever since. No possibility of rehabilitation through treatment. That's why I'm here now. Okay, so there we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So basically, like, this is proof enough that people are, like, the technology has been far too, like, gone here, and people have stopped thinking for themselves. Because like I said, how in the world can people think that, oh, this is correct, like, yeah, he's a 5-year-old kid, the psychopaths, like, the civil system tagged him as a latent criminal, so yeah, he should be taken and isolated or something. How can people think of that, anything like that? Anyone who thinks of something like that and decides to do something like this, it is proof enough to say that this is too far gone. People are not thinking for themselves. They're literally leaving everything to the system, barely think about anything. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm trying to say by saying like the commanding nature of technology. As more and more it grows powerful, people become more and more duller, and they'll just leave everything to the system, making them like even more overbearing and literally controlling you. Ultimately, and it delves into the robot or the technology controlling you. And that is why people talk about robots taking control over the world. That this is literally it. That is why robots can take control over the world, because we let them. We stop thinking ourselves and just leave everything to them. That is why. So yeah, like insane. Like just like imagine at age 5, like the system like telling you that, oh, you're actually a criminal. You gotta your whole future is sealed. Yeah, you either become an enforcer or yeah, you go to our isolation ward. Just imagine something like that. Crazy. Like a 5-year-old kid who literally did nothing. Nothing wrong. And was probably just going to schools, playing with his friend, and then suddenly something like this happens one day. Damn, that is insane. Wow. Right, so yeah, that was today's episode. A very good episode. Like I said, it actually gives us a very good insight as to how this world is and what crazy stuff is going on here, and the messed up nature of it. Right, so yeah. Okay, now that was my whole, like impression of this episode. Now let me go through this episode scene by scene. Let me see if I missed anything. So in the very first section, we get to see Akane waking up, and this weird looking AI alarm thing, I don't know what that is, is like, oh, like, wake up, Akane, it's 8 o'clock. Your psychopath's hue is powder blue this morning. Great job. You're fine. Right, and the AI thing is literally tells her everything, like, like, oh, you have this, you have to do this, while Akane is just thinking about the whole situation with Shinya, that how she shot him. And and here's the thing, I feel like Akane probably felt even more bad, because technically what he did wasn't really anything that he wasn't supposed to do. That was what he was supposed to do. The system actually told him to shoot the that lady. Akane is the one who actually went against that. So she probably felt bad for like punishing someone who was literally doing what he was supposed to do. So something like that. and she was feeling bad and guilty throughout the whole, like first part. And then, she wakes up, and oh, this, like I said, this part really, like made me just surprised so much when the AI was like, "Oh, what background will you use today? What is your room preference today?" And she's like, "Oh, make it, like a library or something like that," she says. And the AI is like, "All right, sure, why not?" And just changes the whole thing. And I'm like, "Wow, that is insane." And then, she goes like to the shower, takes a shower, and she's like thinking of all of this, and the AI is continuously blabbering about like dietary intake and whatnot, like, "Oh, you have to have this amount of kilocalories today," like something like that. And another thing, like I said, more and more technology is advanced, it thinks makes things more and more bland. Like, one thing I one thing I love so much is food, and it made me so, I don't know, uncomfortable to see that the AI was like, "Oh, what flavoring would you take today?" And Akane was like, "Oh, Chinese." And AI was like, "All right, fine." In the microwave oven. Wait a minute, where's that part? Let me see. Yeah, it was. Wait. It was like milk or something, like some kind of a porridge or whatever, like sandwich and I don't know, like whatever. And like a flavoring drops on top of it. It makes it Chinese or something like that. That is crazy. Like I said, that is so bad. Like, imagine eating food and like you're like, "Oh, I want to eat Chinese," and the food isn't even like Chinese. It's just a normal random food with flavoring on top of it. No, definitely not. That is that is yeah, that is not okay at all. Oh god. So basically everything, like I said, every type of creativity is gone out the window. Food is bland, you're just going to put like a flavoring on top of it. Your room is bland because you can just press a button. What else? What else there was? Oh, clothes. Just, I don't know, like a random dress you wear and just press the button and changes your whole dress. That is also bland. So yeah, this, since technology is so advanced here, everything is just artificially created, which obviously completely takes out the creativity out of everything. And creativity doesn't even exist because everything is just so manufactured. Right. Like, she takes up like takes out the, and after she like has her food, she's like watching the news and everything. And she takes out like the makeup box, and it's like the dress options: casual, office, formal. Presses a button, bam, changes. And yeah, and then when she's like, "Oh," like, like she goes out, and the AI says like goodbye, and then when she leaves, the whole room becomes bland again. Right. Oh god, this is crazy. You know what, if this is the future, I don't want to go to this future, man. Like, I'm fine with being where I am. Like, good god, this is so weird, and this is just so unnecessary. Like, what the hell? Oh god. Right. Okay, so after that we get to see Akane is like meeting with his friends, and his friends are like sorry, her friends are like talking to her, and she talks about her whole situation, tells them that, "Oh, this happened," and her friends were like, "Oh, don't worry about it, because it's not as if you did something wrong, like the you shot them, and your psychopath index is also pretty normal." And this is another thing that they bring up. This is also something that I thought. I was thinking that she's so stressed out, like whether it'll affect her psychopaths or anything. And this is what her friends bring up. They say that you're so mentally strong that like your psychopath is just completely fine, even though you're stressing so much about it. You know, and yeah, that is true. She is feeling bad, but her psychopath is completely normal. So and they're like, "Oh, how do you stay so healthy?" And she's like, "Oh, maybe I'm too thick-skinned or dense." Okay, so here, she also talks about the civil system. Says that it's not that I doubt the civil system. but if I wonder if a career in the public safety bureau is actually right for me. And that is where her friends are like, oh, you had a choice, like you like literally were the topper. You like you had so many choices in front of you, and you're the one who chose this one. And and the friends are also like, yeah, why did you choose this one? Even if you really didn't want, like like in this public safety bureau, you could have literally gotten anything else, if you wanted to. And they kind of talk about a few things, and they kind of laugh and like joke around and all. And they also kind of encourage her as well. They're like, it's not because of the civil system, but we are your friends, we know what you're capable of, so I think you'll be fine. So and all that stuff aside, and then she, after having her little break, she goes to her job. She takes a formal attire, and yeah, now she goes, at first things that she does is goes to what is this place, comprehensive analysis laboratory. And she opens the door, and there's this one girl. Okay, here's the thing, this is that girl, isn't it? The one that I didn't recognize her when I was reacting. I thought that was a robot or something, because when Akane is talking to her, she's literally just not speaking. I'm like, what? It's like an android or something. This is the future. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some androids and stuff. So, but no, this is that, literally that girl. The girl, one of the enforcers. That girl. I didn't recognize her for a moment. So she came out. She was like, like kind of fixing her dress. And like I said, this scene really confused me, because she was literally staring at Akane with blank eyes, and I'm like, what? Who is this? Is this like an android or something? No, but then when she moves forward, I'm like, oh no, never mind. Okay, so yeah, she goes in, and then we have this lady here. Yeah, we saw what she was doing. She was fixing a dress. Okay. Good God. Now, right. So her name is Kanamori. Wait, what? Kanamori or Kananomori? Wait a minute. Let me check. No, Karanomori. Karanomori Shion. Wait a minute. She's voice acted by Miyuki Sawashiro, isn't she? Let me check. I'm pretty sure. Like I'll not mistake that voice anywhere. Yeah, Miyuki Sawashiro. Yep. So she's like, she comes in and she's like, oh, like, I'm Tsunemori Akane. I've been assigned to the CID. And she's like, oh, you're the one who shot Shinya, didn't you? Haha. And then, okay, she says like, I've come here to see how he's doing. So she comes to the, like, the screen, and she's like putting in and stuff. Okay, so, and she kind of talks about like, oh, like, like, if you're an inspector, that puts you in the fast track at the bureau, right? Hurry up and become a high ranking official so you can reform the system. Yeah, I feel the same. This system is weird and very, unhealthy, I think. But obviously she's talking about something else. She's like, oh, if you can make like a swimming pool and a bar lounge, kind of joking around and everything. But Akane is like, can I please see how Shinya's doing? And she's like, okay, here we go. So she shows the picture, and we see that Shinya's just there. And she says like, he has been hurt, obviously got shot in the spinal cord. So he's out of commission, but he'll be fine tomorrow. So it'll be okay. And she says like, you want to go and see, and Akane, when she sees Akane is very like her face is very, like she's feeling guilty. She's like, oh, you want to go and see him? And Akane's like, no, I better not bother her. So she comes back to the place where all the enforcers are, like those two. Okay, here we go. This part, I need to read this part. Akane was writing something on the screen, on the, work type, latent criminal pursuit of apprehension, enforced at will, authority granted. Casualty report. Okura Nobuo, after his criminal coefficient rose over 300, lethal enforcement was authorized, died at the scene. That dude, yeah. Shimazu Chika, After being taken hostage by Okura and released, lethal enforcement authorized, currently hospitalized. There you go. And then Kogami Shinya enforced the Public Security Bureau. After carrying out lethal enforcement on Okura, he pursued a new enforcement target, incapacitated by Inspector Tsunemori's paralyzer. There you go. So, yeah. Now, you can see, like, the enforcers are literally doing whatever they want to. Like, the dude is, like, playing, like, his game. And the other girl, I need to remember their names. And I'll check out their names later. And the girl is like, wait, she was reading music? Yeah, she was looking at like violins and stuff. Oh, so here's the thing. So it just does exist. I was thinking, like I was saying, like more and more technology advances, creativity goes out the window. So I was wondering if like stuff like music and like art existed or not. It does exist. We can see here. Like she was looking at these guitars and stuff. Not guitar, sorry, violin. Yeah, guitar, violin, maybe. I'm not really sure. Right. Okay. Another thing here, another little note here. Director of the Criminal Investigation Division, Chief Investigator Nobuchika Ginoza. That guy, yeah. Accident report for PSB vehicles and officers. Date of incident 4th October around 3:30. Vicinity of Tokyo, 13th jurisdiction. Control area states listed. KT building, warehouse along the shore. Okay, police details. Accompanying Tomomi Masaoka, yeah, that guy. The one, like the one who looks like a detective. That dude. Masaoka, that's his name. And enforcer, work type, latent criminal pursuit and apprehension, enforce at will, authority granted. So while she was doing all of that, her tablet stops working, and she's like, "Oh, can I get one?" And the guy was like, "Oh, like Shinya's in charge of that." So she kind of like makes fun and says like, you shot him, so he's out now, haha. So he gets hit on the head by that girl, and the girl gives him her the tablet. Now Masaoka comes in. And he was like, "Oh, today is so quiet," and immediately the alarm starts ringing. Something is trouble. So trouble is like brewing. So turns out in a certain place, the psychopath's like meter of that like regulation value has gone increased, and so that is how like they figure out like, so they keep an eye on the whole like areas as well. If the index of that area increases, they probably they send the enforcers to take care of the situation, and the enforcers, they are they have the duty to figure out who's the one who is increasing the index and take them in custody. So Shinya cannot accompany them, obviously. He's just there stuck. So Masaoka and Akane goes to the scene. So in this place you can see that someone is elevating the stress level area. So they go in, and you can see that Masaoka says that Akane is kind of hesitant about the whole situation because of the incident in the previous day. But Masaoka's like, "Don't worry, you just have to come with me. That's all. We won't even need the Dominators." So they go in, take in the holographic like the suit or whatever, go in and starts observing everyone, and he immediately figures out who the guy is. He looks at him and he's like, "Oh, he's that guy." So and he says need to be a beast to figure out another beast, and that, I guess, that is exactly why they are made enforcers, so that they can take care of people like them. So he he grabs the guy, and then the guy tries to attack him, but he literally stops him and checks the meter, and he's like, "Oh yeah, your index is high, so let's go to therapy." So after all of that, Akane's like, "Wow, so you really did do it, like you're correct." And Akane's like, "What did I even do? I just stood there, so I feel bad." At which Masaoka's like, "Oh, it's okay, that was what that you needed to do. You just had to go and stay with me." And he kind of says that you guys' job, you inspector, your guys' job is basically to keep an eye on us. We'll do the other thing. You don't have to do any other thing. You just have to keep an eye on us. That is your duty, and that is all that you need to do. obviously Akane is not happy about this. She's like, I'm just stood there. Yeah, so okay, here we go. After you bring enforcers to the site, all you need to do is keep an eye on them, so make sure they don't slack off, run away, or cause trouble for the society. That is all you need to do. And Akane is like, in other words, you're telling me not to do anything, right? Yeah, basically that, Just like how people in this world are literally doing nothing and letting everything, like leaving everything into technology, same thing is happening here as well. Like the inspectors are literally doing nothing, they're just supervisors, while the enforcers are doing their job. Something like that. And obviously Akane is not really comfortable with that, because after going through all of this, like studying and earning so much high marks and everything, what was the point of all of that then? Just come here and just sit down and just look at other people doing the job for them. Basically that. And especially in situations like this, which involves like public safety and everything, like police officers, people who become police officers, obviously they, people who have dreams of becoming police officers, or like in the defense or the justice system, they want to be people there. People who dream of that, obviously they want to do something for the society. That is why they dream of doing that, like becoming a police officer or something. So someone who dreams of doing that, and come, like and to help the society out, if they all they have to do is literally just stand there and do nothing, in the main scene, they're obviously going to get bothered by it. Either way, next we get to see Akane is like eating, and this guy comes in, and he's like, oh, can I sit here? And he starts talking to her and everything, and kind of friendly talk they're having, both of them. And then he asks, like, oh, like, what are you doing here? Like, why did you start, like, this thing? Crazy place to start work, right? At which Akane says that, oh, actually what happened is that, where's that part? Okay, if you pass the bureau standards, you must have gotten a good ranking in other places too, right? Couldn't you have picked a different job? At which she says that I got an A ranking for all 13 ministries and agencies, not to mention 6 companies. 13 ministry, 6 companies, damn. Okay, but for all the other jobs, there are at least 2 other people beside me who got the same ranking. That's why she chose this, because this is the only one where she's the one who got it. So she says that I thought that maybe I could change, like, I can do something like this. Maybe this is for me, because in the others there are other people beside her as well, but this is only her. So she was like, oh, maybe I can make some change, or maybe I'm actually required here. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. And she says that, like, I thought I'd be able to find out why I was born here and now. And she says, am I wrong? At which obviously his whole, like, demeanor changes. He's like, oh, like, you at least had a, like, you think I have any idea? Like, I was literally, my, like, coefficient was taken when I was a 5-year-old kid, like, and I had no future. Either I have to become an enforcer, or I have to go to the isolation ward. So yeah, people like me won't understand this. And people like you who have the choice, yeah, like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable in talking with you. And she said, like, I wasn't planning to be mean to you or anything, um uh but I changed my mind. I'll ask you again. mm, why did you become an inspector? Yeah, I can see, like, I can see why he was angry, because like, his whole life has, not only him, the other people as well, the whole life has been literally, like, just predefined. Like, it's just like, oh, you have to go through this path. So he had no choice. So seeing someone like her, who has so much liberties, and something like that, and who just became a police officer, because she thought she could do something, like, he's not really happy with that reasoning. And his, yeah, I can see that, like, his whole situation. And yeah, I can see why he would, good god, why he would behave like that at that moment. Obviously, that's not like him behaving like that wasn't correct. Like, what can Akane do? But still, it's understandable. Anyways, next we get to see Akane goes to Shinya, and she talks to Shinya, and Shinya's like standing there, and Shinya's like, oh no, she says like, was my decision wrong? They just stand there and put others in danger. And this is what Shinya says: I've been an enforcer for a long time, and the hunter dog's behavior of following orders to take a prey down with needed hesitation or doubt has been ingrained in my hand. I just followed the gun's orders and shot many latent criminals. It was good of society, I told myself. I was easier to accept the logic without question. At a certain point, I didn't even think about it anymore. I didn't even look back at myself and think what I was doing. I was a fool. Being a detective isn't about bringing people down. I'm supposed to be protecting people. So that is, why he's like, you're okay. You did what you actually had to do. You decided what was right on your own. There you go. You were able to put justice before your duty. With a boss like that, I might be able to work as a detective, not just a dog. Yeah. There you go. And like they make up, and after that, he also kind of like talks about a little bit of his past. Probably he says like, this is not a place I'm supposed to go down. I have some unfinished business. I cannot die here no matter what. That one thought consumed me. That is why I probably acted like that at that moment, because for me it's either do or die. That's why I just was behaving like that at that moment. Anyways, after all of that, you can see that Akane goes to their boss, this dude, I forgot his name, something, and she's like, oh, I think my decision was correct, and he's like, she says like, at that moment her crime coefficient was only temporarily elevated. In fact, the therapy she's receiving after has been taken into custody is going well as well, and her psychopath is recovering. So I think my decision was correct. And he's like, Kogami, is there something you want to say? And Shinya's like, no, Inspector Tsunami fulfilled her duty. I think it is okay. And that is where the whole thing ended. So yeah, that was today's episode. Really good episode. Like I said, it really made us understand of the state of the world, in such a technologically advanced world. And yeah, things are very dystopian kind of, like everything is like dictated by technology, and people just like following it without even thinking, that kind of thing. Right, so there you go, that is it. Thank you for watching, guys. This was my reaction to episode number 2 of Psycho-Pass season 1. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Psycho-Pass. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.